Hello there, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be looking at one of my all-time favourite Jackie Chans, but especially I did mention this, I think I've mentioned it in some of my other Jackie Chan reviews, but one of my all-time favourites, especially from the Lo Wei period of Jackie Chan's career. But we're going to be looking at Spiritual Kung Fu today, which I think, along with Dragon Fist, two of definitely my favourite Jackie Chans of the era. Definitely two that are very underappreciated and undervalued Jackie Chans. I mean, a lot of people at that time, they just think of the Snake and Eagle Shadows, the Drunken Masters, the Fearless Hyenas. But Spiritual Kung Fu, and like I say, and Dragon Fist are two, they're very overlooked. But we'll be getting into this today, released by 88 Films. Thank you so much for releasing this. Never thought I'd get sort of a nice... the picture on this is absolutely amazing. It's the best I've ever seen the film. Yeah, we're going into that today. I'm so happy to be reviewing this because I could just talk about this film so much. I've got so much praise for this film. Otherwise known as Karate Ghostbuster. That was actually what I had it on. That's when I bought it on VHS way back in the day. That was what I had, and it was sort of like obviously because Ghostbusters and things like that, the video company trying to cash in on things like that, like Jackie Chan, Ghost, Karate Ghostbuster, let's mix it up. Like I've mentioned in my Dragon Fist review, a lot of people dismiss that period of Jackie Chan's career, especially the Lo Wei period. They'd think all films that come out at that point from that studio are terrible, and they're really not. They're not as bad as what people make them out to be. Sure, some are worse than others, but Spiritual Kung Fu especially is definitely one of the better ones, in my humble opinion. I know a lot of people love this film. There's a lot of people, people I know, friends I know, absolutely love this film. So we'll be getting into that today. This is definitely one of the more enjoyable ones. Made in 1978, and like with Dragon Fist as well, I think it was actually shelved. I think sort of the production company was sort of running out of money. Lo Wei didn't have much money left and that kind of thing. So I think it was almost shelved. I think it was shelved and it wasn't going to be released until obviously Jackie Chan made it a huge box office, money with Snake and Eagle Shadow and Drunken Master. When he got lent out to seasonal films, directed by Yuen Woo-ping. This film is very much sort of in them kind of veins. It's very much that slapstick comedy. It's not that serious, this film. As I say, it's rated at 15, but it's a very sort of light-hearted kung fu movie. It's a lot of fun to be had with this film. It's a quirky film. There's some fantastic sequences in this, so we'll be getting into this today. So basically, Jackie's character is a student at the Shaolin Temple. Generic enough, usual thing. Student at the Shaolin Temple, what we get used to in kung fu movies. And one night, one of their kung fu manuals gets stolen. The abbot blaming himself that this could have happened, basically, this is my fault, it's been stolen. He puts himself willingly into isolation. The manual that was stolen was the 7 Deadly Fists, which has not been practiced for ages as it's too brutal, like the style is too extreme. The Shaolin do not want it to be practiced by anybody, they keep it. So sort of nobody can sort of access it because obviously in the Kung Fu fighting world it was just too dangerous, it was too barbaric, the style was too violent. And the only counter style to this 7 Deadly Fist is the 5 Fist, of which the manual was lost years ago. Like nobody knows where it is. It just, when it vanished, it disappeared off the face of the earth, basically. We find out that James Tien, I've mentioned before, if you don't know James Tien he was sort of Bruce Lee's. So he was sort of the main supporting role in Big Boss. He's in quite a few of the Jackie Chans. He's in a lot of the later Sammo Hungs. So he's basically, we find out that James Tien's dad has stolen it, so his son will be like sort of martial arts master. So his son will be, good at kung fu and can basically beat people up and be champion, and all that comes with it. Then one night, this is where the film really does get fun. A comet strikes the temple, all done in the best, cheapest way possible. If you see that scene, it just puts big budget Hollywood productions to shame. It really does. It proves sometimes if you're just a bit resourceful, you can achieve the effect of a comet hitting, meteor, whatever, hitting the temple. And it reveals 5 ghosts, which are just guys painted white and wearing white with red wigs. It turns out they represent the 5 fist styles, which is the 5 fist style, which is tiger, crane, dragon, snake, and leopard. And of course, they teach Jackie Chan. Meanwhile, Jackie is going around sorry, not Jackie, James Chen is going around challenging and killing Kung Fu masters because he's got this book that was stolen from the Shaolin Temple. Then at one point, a friend and Kung Fu master comes to visit the temple who gets murdered by like a palm technique. And one of the monks is locked up as only he apparently knows this technique. He's freed by one of the other monks. Is that the palm mark that was on the people was actually ink, so he wasn't actually killed by that technique. So he finds out he's been framed, and it turns out basically at the end it was the 32nd Grand Master of the temple who Jackie fights at the end with the aid of the ghosts. So that is sort of the whole plot summed up. I know I sometimes whiz through these plots, but I don't want to just sit here and give you a review with me just telling you, sitting here for like 10 minutes straight, just talking like some people do. They just tell you the plot of the film from start to finish and that's it. Like, they don't express any opinion on anything. I just try and give you a basic quick premise, a quick rundown, a quick brief thing of what happens, and then we can sort of get into the film and have a bit of fun looking at it. As mentioned, this is a really good, fun, light-hearted Jackie Chan low-wave vehicle, and I believe one of the better ones, as I mentioned earlier. I mean, you only need to look at the first time we see Jackie's character in this film, that he is being punished with the classic benches, much like how we would expect something in Drunken Master, you know, where he gets punished quite a bit and he has to do like horse dance or whatever it may be. Straight away in this film, as soon as we see Jackie Chan, we're in familiar territory. You know, we're in familiar territory. We can already see it's that same kind of character. It's that same kind of character like how he plays Wong Fei Hung in Drunken Master. So we already know, like I say, right away, he's sort of a misfit. And speaking of Drunken Master, it's really odd here seeing Dean Sheck, who often plays sort of he's sort of the tormentor and he's the teacher in Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, if you're not sure who he is. And he's actually in this film one of Jackie's friends. So it's really odd seeing him be sort of on Jackie's side. It's really strange because, like I say, usually he's so infamous just for being in them roles in sort of Snake and Drunken Master, being that one who, you know, Jackie sort of, he's always like tormenting Jackie or trying to get one up on Jackie. But in this, like I say, he's actually his friend. He's actually part of his team of friends. So it was just interesting to see that. The temple used in this film has been used a number of times. It's been used quite a bit in other films. I believe it has been used, or at least exterior shots of it were used in Game of Death 2. I think it might have been used, or outskirts of it were shown in Buddhist Fist. I mean, it's been in a number of films. And there's always that one shot of the temple that it's in a couple of films, like the outside of the temple, where it's sort of being looked down upon. It's in a number of films. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I'm not sure where it is. Some of you may know where the temple in this film is. I believe it's Korea. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's somewhere in Korea. I want to say Korea, but if any of you out there know what the temple is in this film and what they use, what has been used in quite like a number of other kung fu movies, then be sure to let me know. You can tell, like I say, with Dragon Fist, Jackie had a lot to do and say with the action here. He was very much, there was somebody telling Jackie what to do. This is Jackie pretty much being, you know, fight choreographer here. It was him that was basically in charge of the sequences and the action. Something obviously he probably relished at the time, just getting a chance to sort of prove himself and just show what he can do with his action choreography and what he can bring to the camera and what he can let people do. I mean, I think he's actually listed as stunt coordinator on this one, I believe. So it was definitely him, sort of in charge of choreographing and just the fight sequences. Some good punches and fast choreography here. I mean, obviously the standout moment and fight scene, probably again, like in my Dragon Fist review when I said, like, the ending of that film has one of Jackie's best fights, I believe, in my opinion anyway. And regarding best, I mean sort of he's sometimes the most overlooked, and the fight in Spiritual Kung Fu with the Tonfas is probably again one of the best Jackie Chan fights, so one of the most underappreciated Jackie Chan fights you will ever see. I think it's worth watching this film for this scene alone. It's this fight scene. I mean, he wants to leave the temple basically, and he has to take on around 18 monks, sort of in order to pass the test. And there is some, like I say, some truly exceptional choreography here between the bow staff wielding monks and Jackie using the tonfas. A weapon, I mean, this is a weapon that Jackie has used numerous times. I mean, like I say, if you look at the end of Dragon Fist or City Hunter, there's a lot of time. Jackie, I mean, I think really does enjoy working with the Tonfas. I know it's not something he does all the time, but when he does use them, it works really well. And especially here, Drunken Fist, there's no reason for him to, but he chooses to use these weapons, and the combination of that with the bow staff, I mean, it's incredible stuff. Some really clever, inventive like choreography here between him and the monks that he's got to defeat. You can tell, like I say, he was really having fun here. There was a lot of fun to be had with that scene, and just Jackie having a lot of fun with the choreography, especially when the monks are sort of lined up. They're sort of lined up in just a long queue, and Jackie's sort of like just disposing of them one by one. Nothing violent or anything. He's just got to sort of beat them to pass the test, but they just come out, and each one he deals with in a different way. He's sort of catching the bows with his tonfas and things like it's incredible. I can't praise that scene enough in Spiritual Kung Fu. It's just absolutely... It's, again, just so overlooked. I believe it is so overlooked. I think this film, and like I know I've said it a million times, and Dragon Fist are so overlooked as and underappreciated as Jackie Chan vehicles. Some of the effects in this are done very, very cheaply, as you would quite probably imagine. They're not exactly, as I mentioned, big budget Hollywood CGI green screen stuff going on here. I mean, the meter itself, comet, whatever you want to call it, that hits the temple is nothing more than like a sort of a sparkler on a string. When the ghosts are playing tricks on Jackie and like moving his table, it's all done very obviously with sort of splitting the shot, like sort of cutting the shot in half and sort of splicing them together. The only way they knew how to sort of, the best way they could possibly do it with the resources available. But it again, it just adds to the sort of the charm of the film. It doesn't make it, it's a bit tacky, it's cheap, but that's what you would expect. That sort of adds to the whole thing and what makes it work in such a fun film. Like there's a shot where sort of a hand is coming in from the side, but it's sort of cut off here. But you can obviously see the shot is sort of cut there, is sort of spliced together with another shot, and they've just sort of put them side by side. Let's say it just adds to the charm of the film, and it's worth mentioning as well. I do believe, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe Yuen Bu is actually one of the 5 ghosts. I think he is. It's hard to sort of tell sometimes with all that makeup and the wig on, but I'm pretty sure that Yuen Bu is one of the ghosts, the 5 ghosts that teaches Jackie. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did read or I heard that somewhere. So overall, as you can probably imagine, I love this movie. I think please check this one out. It's a very light-hearted film with a good sense of fun along the way, including, like I said, including ghosts, tonfas, kung fu, monks, Shaolin Temple, and of course Jackie Chan. So you've got a lot going on there, but so please don't, when some people like dismiss the low way period, them films are rubbish, and it's like they're really not. You just need to sort of give them all a second go and just appreciate them for what they are. I will hopefully get round to be reviewing all of them at some stage. I don't want to just go for the most obvious Jackie Chans. I want to review the ones that, especially to start anyway, I want to get through the Jackies that sort of I loved that from back in the day, the ones that sort of I grew up on. I remember watching. I've seen thousands and thousands of times. While not the best, low way Jackie Chan film for me, I mean that honour goes to Dragon Fist. This is probably my second favourite. This film is definitely a very close second. It could actually maybe be my favourite over Dragon Fist, I'm not sure. But again, I keep mentioning them too because I just absolutely love them movies. And it's just very high up on my list of favourite Jackie Chan films. So if you've never seen Spiritual Kung Fu, please check it out because it is really awesome. It's really good fun and I just love this movie. So thanks for watching and hopefully I'll see you again soon.